Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and once again, I'm here with Chandra with Aaron and Franklin Engineering. And Chandra, we've been doing a lot of different shows. In fact, we've got a combination show coming up with you and Landon from Prestige Custom Builders. Um, but we're going to get completely off that topic, and we haven't talked about TWIA lately. And so today's show is going to give you an update on TWIA because you and I were talking before. They have a full board now, and we've got some good representation in Galveston for the board. But let's talk about rate increase, decrease. Did it stay even? What are you seeing there?
Well, it's exciting, David. So for a lot of years, TWIA does this analysis every year, and they determine adequacy and how adequate do they feel that they have money to pay claims. That they have to have enough money to be able to pay claims, which is, of course, what everybody wants if you have to make money. So they do a rate adequacy analysis every year, and then they present that to the board and say, okay, we're not adequate by whatever percentage. And in years past, it's been pretty significant, 20, 30, 40%. And it's always seemed to me just to be a little bit off, like maybe just overinflated for some reason. And they have made some legislative changes, and I was worried.
Would you tell me the math wasn't mathing?
That's not mathing, right? So to me, it just never seemed like it was quite right. But fortunately, we've been kind of able to hold those increases at bay for a lot of years. Not every year, but a lot of those years that I was on board. And so, this is the first year I haven't had any influence in a long time over what happens with that rate. So I was really interested to see what happened. But fortunately, the actuarial need right now is 3% residential, 5% commercial, which is really, really small. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it that small. And so the board actually did vote pretty high margin, did vote to not take an increase. So they're going to recommend a 0% to be filed with the commissioner, which is great. It has to be filed by October 15th. So they're going to recommend a 0 rate increase, which is fantastic. Last year we had those meetings all over the state with the commissioner because they wanted a rate increase, like a 10% rate increase.
Right.
And we fought that, and the commissioner actually turned it down. And had she accepted that and we had all paid that in, we would probably be in a surplus, So not that they would give any of it back. No, they won't give any of it back. But what the nice thing is that now, what does that mean for people that are renewing their policy? Okay, so they're going to file a 0% rate increase. What that means is that based on the current value of the home and the current replacement value, which are the two big variables, they are not going to increase the rate. Now, if your value goes up, your premium may go up. Okay, so or if you are taking increased cost of construction, and your value may go up, so then your policy will go up a little bit. So I'm not saying your policy premium won't necessarily go up a little bit, but the rate in which they are applying that to you will stay the same. So you can always decline that coverage too. You can always decline that increased cost and stay where you are, but you will have a reduction in coverage. So say your house, was insured to say $250,000 and it went up to $280,000, and you're like, no, I'm not going to take that extra 35. Well, if there's a delta later and it's a total loss, you're just kind of going to have to eat that. So
and that's Dan and I talk about that a lot. Go through once a year from an insurance standpoint. It's always good to go through and look at what you have. Did you add something little? We've talked about updates on the home and getting permits and stuff, but also on the insurance side, if you replace your windows, not only do you have to get the engineering done on them, but you need to let your insurance people know, because if you've got better windows than you had, there may be a decrease or it may be an increase because the value's gone up. And so we talk about that a lot, especially coming into storm season, with the winters we've had and the tornadoes this last winter. I don't know that we really have a storm season now, but typically, we're talking about hurricane season. And so that's great to hear that there's no rate increase. But
well, and I wasn't really sure what was going to happen because we pretty much have a brand new board.
yeah, you haven't said anything either. We hadn't really talked about TWIA.
Yeah, it's been, well, they just placed the last position, and the last position that they placed was a first tier coastal representative. And I was really worried, because we were looking at a month out and there still wasn't anyone placed in that first tier coastal county position. And I was like, oh great, we're not going to have a full representation of the coastal counties. But the good news is that we do have Carolyn Tarleton Shannon, who has been very active in TWIA, very vocal about rate increases and everything. So she's now on the board as one of our representatives. So I think she'll do a very good job of
the one from Galveston.
Vocalizing. Yeah, she's from. Yeah. I think she was a city council member in Galveston, and she has a business in Galveston, insurance business. So she's very involved in all this, and I'm really glad that we have somebody that's so in tune, especially with our local area, that can represent us and make sure that we keep everything where it's supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah, we need that because building costs have gone up, everything's gone up, and so we need to try and keep the insurance part down. It makes it a little bit more affordable. So, well, thanks for the great news this morning or this afternoon. It's always good to get news like that instead of bad news. And here we are right in, you couldn't be more smack dab in the middle of hurricane season right now. Knock on wood, it's looking good so far. We're monitoring everything. In fact, we're building a new Bolivar Live truck to be able to do more when it comes to weather events and stuff. So, well, we'll be back next week with another show with Chandra. We've got the insurance covered. You never know what we may be talking about. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.
Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.